Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is the first play session of Girl by Moonlight Danger Unexploded Spell. This is a new series framework for Girl by Moonlight that I put together. There'll be links in the notes if you want to check that out. We are building up from our characters. Last time we did most of the character creation process. There is a bit where I kind of got a little bit flipped on the script because there's a point in the character creation process where you're supposed to pick the playbooks, but not actually do anything with them yet and come back to it at the end that I got mixed up on. But we're going to be working with that. We have essentially our characters some questions about the shared obligation, training, and things like that that we're going to be going through today, including what transcendence looks like, some of those things, and then going to obligation and play. Before we do that too much further, I do want to have us briefly go and give the elevator pitch on our characters again, just to remind us who everyone is and what their playbook is. So going in the keeper order as I have it here, which is alphabetical. Uh, uh, Sarah Senna, can you give us the quick elevator pitch?
Sure. First I'll introduce myself. I'm Sherry. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Sarah Senna, who uses probably they, them uh, pronouns. And essentially, they are the harmony. Uh, Essentially, in harmony, you have a relationship, two people whose love has bound them into a single form and identity. And essentially, what it is because she was a member of Registry of Masks. She switched and studied a lot of masks. She uncovered one, and the two of them became so enamored with each other that they bound themselves together, which is strictly forbidden, because it takes a mask out of the series for other users, but also most of all, it changes the power dynamic for the mask and or the user a lot, and it's considered how should we say dangerous because they don't know which way it will go and who will be in control. So it's verboten, but once done, there's nothing they can do about it. And to at this point to destroy Sarah or Senna would be to destroy both of them. The masks are valuable. So she's pretty much been kicked out of school because she's a bad influence, and sent here to do the work, hoping that it is not that she will be killed, but that she will be maimed sufficiently that they can somehow extract the mask from her at some point. So
Yikes. Okay. I like it. And then our stranger, Alina.
Hello, my name is Dom. Him, I'll be playing as Stranger Elena, who is basically a girl that lost everything in the Blitz, in the war against the Empire. I lost her family in the unexploded spell that left her scarred. She came to the corpse that she had nothing left and wanted to find a place to belong, but she serves as one of the corps members and is going through the motions of also becoming sort of an engineer in the corps to basically help get over her own fears and that magic and the engineering, the whole mech side, no, not mech side, but the whole technology side can be used for more than just war and destruction to basically just get over her own trauma about what's happened and to find her own place and a new meaning to her life.
Okay. And next is our time traveler, 37.
Yeah, so I'm working. I use they pronouns. So I'll be playing 37, who is the time traveler. So basically, she was like an aristocrat who had a, cushy R&D job until the war ended and we won against the empire, and she got bored. So she stole classified military secret ritual to go back in time and ended up with the corpse because she doesn't have identification and she doesn't want to claim her aristocratic lineage. So, but like after spending time with the corpse for 37 time loops, she's now kind of like attached to the corpse and their well-being, even if in a kind of detached, like I just need to make sure everything goes perfect, kind of stage director way. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Awesome. And lastly, our unknown, unlikely hero.
All right. First of all, Clarice, she, her. And then my character is Akemi Watanabe is their mundane name. They're also she, her. Let's see here. As things go, they are a person who is pretty much just abandoned by their family due to their lack of magical capabilities or anything unique to that was something that their family could prop up for their name. And at one point or another, they were taken in by the corp here that due to their ingenuity and with tinkering and messing with tools and scraps that to make useful things, such as what got them in here, which is their ability to make one of the relics kind of functional, and it's now our little secondary NPC Scuttle for the restored sentient relic. And for all intents and purposes, they are just here kind of like pretty much just like, oh, well, I at least have a place to go versus what they used to do, which is just kind of living on the streets and alleyways.
Excellent. So we have a few things to settle out, a few choices to make today about some last details for our characters. So the first question is, our group has a shared place, a space that is ours, that is in the called an obligation, but it basically is your barracks. And I'm looking here at the series detail reference for that to think about what kind of place is the place that you are operating out of. And I have some examples there: condemned garrison, form asylum, closed theater, burned out magic school, emptied library, strange museum, alchemical dump, deconsecrated cathedral, underground bunker, decrepit estate, or abandoned castle. So lots of great choices in there. I'm going to do same order. Sarah, Senna, do you have a couple of thoughts or one that appeals to you?
I adore the idea of an abandoned theater, the idea of all that unusable space, a bazillion chairs, a bunch of costumes and old props up on a stage, or back in the back of the stage, and a big stage. It would be like, give us lots of room for all of our equipment and stuff, but it would always be kind of a weird makeshift, never for living kind of place, like everything. So that's kind of amusing.
Okay,
sometimes.
okay. Folks like that idea? Any modification? Okay. So with this theater that we have, opera house, theater, grand thing, let me ask then Lena, what part, like when we actually are in this theater, in this place, is closed off to us? Like what place is sort of hidden away that we can't quite get to yet?
Now, just for clarification, when you say can't get yet, do you mean can't get to yet because of natural reasons. What I mean by that is kind of like maybe like it's blocked by debris, or can get it because it's being guarded by someone.
I like guarded. I like magically warded. I like debris. I think any of those could be a good reason why something is closed off to you. Which is more appealing to you?
Okay, I'm gonna say that perhaps the I see maybe like the basement, but I'm not sure that's maybe a bit too cheesy. As maybe let's say the theater like has a basement, and that the basement is kind of like closed off. I wanna say it's closed because it's maybe being like guarded by like the corpse, but like it needs like higher clearance. Yeah, higher.
So some
I'm
kind of
blanking.
some kind of
I'm kind of like
vault in the basement, some kind of thing that's locked away.
yeah, I was thinking something like that. Like I'm kind of blanking on the word by something in the basement that belongs to like the corpse. Like the corpse has like in a corpse doesn't like allow us to get into that. Not because they don't trust us, but because we like aren't like high enough up in the command chain like to know what's down there.
Okay. So there's a basement. Things are locked away. We don't know exactly what's in it. We're not supposed to go down there. Of course, making it that much more alluring to us. Uh, Verton.
I mean,
Oh, yes, Dom.
yeah, I was going to say, my moment is heavily inspired by anime. From what I see in anime, you cannot have a series without like a secret basement.
Yeah, that makes sense. Verton, what is something when they gave you this theater and kind of put this to you to keep it up and live here? What's one thing that you and your companions found here that was really cool, a wonder, neat? What do you think you found?
Yeah, so I was thinking, can I say it's Charlie? Like my bunk? Because I imagine she's a theater kid. So like I'm kind of thinking like maybe this was her parents' theater, and then like it got abandoned, or maybe like like imminent domain by the government, so they had to abandon it. And maybe like it's abandoned before she was born, but like now she's trying to I don't know, get it back, or get back the deed, or get it up and running again. But like because everyone think it's abandoned or cursed or haunted, like no one would come here except us. So she's just kind of like, oh fine, like if you are the only people who is gonna be here, you might as well make yourself useful and stuff like that.
So is part of this that some of her rivalry comes from the fact that you've taken over, you're squatting in some place that she considers her family's?
Yeah, I don't think she's bad natured about it. It's like absolutely no one else comes to the theater anyway, but she's not like she's unhappy about the fact that we are the only people who can be her trope slash audience slash staff.
I like that. Uh, Akemi, the authorities do kind of keep an eye on you. There is some training involved here. Um, what do you think it is they do to kind of keep you in line? Is it that they have magical trackers? Do they have overseers? Do they have people secretly watching you? You know, is it propaganda and rumors? Do they make you take something? Is it threats? Like, what is it that kind of in their worry they use to keep you in line? Guilt is another good one.
Part of the thing is like I think when it comes to anything of like keeping control over people is having a multi-layered method of doing so. For starters, like especially because war efforts in general also are going to have you deal with this anyway, and plus it also just saves on their stuff. Reduction resources in general just makes sense. Like, hey, get you used to when resources do get low in war, but also too, it just means we save our own stuff here. So it's that way of like kind of keeping you in line a little bit by not giving you everything you want there. I do like the thought of like almost kind of in the way of like taking in the magical tracker and alongside giving something in the sense of like having a tracker that can kind of force us to kind of like either like it like is meant to like, oh, if you try go AWOL, it can tranquilize you, or or kind of give you a shock or something that makes sure that we don't escape.
Okay. So there is some physical element, some item that everyone has that's kind of tied into these variable protections. Is it like a bracelet, a medallion, a ring, something else, their uniform? What do you think is the physical object that we see that represents that?
Does anyone have an idea on that?
Well, we are kind of like, we are part of the corps, we are technically soldiers, even if we are volunteers. So like, the first thing that comes to mind would be like dog tags.
No, that makes sense. If you've lost those, then you're probably dead. So yeah, that's so it couldn't be like a bracelet,
Okay.
I don't think, because you can lose your arm doing what we do, but essentially if you lose your head, they're probably not as
So
concerned.
some kind of chain necklace
Mhm.
with a symbol or a marker that can be decoded there. It might be natural across the way for dog tags, but you have very particular kinds of magical tags there.
Do they have something like they do kind of make us trackable, but they also track other things? Like when we're getting close to certain kinds of magical sources, they make like they vibrate or something. So that essentially they have a thing of we kind of need them as well as a warning thing or sensor.
I like that. That seems good as fictional positioning that we can have sort of in the background here. Probably more effective when you're actually in transcended state, but gives you a little bit of magical sense all of the time. Let me ask you this then, Senna, since we're kind of at that front. These dog tags, like, are they silver? Are they gold? Are they some other kind of metal? Are they layered? Like what are we looking at for these?
No, I think that they really are sort of what makes them sensitive to magic. It's not so much that they're sensitive to magic, they are sensitive to outside magic, and they are essentially everyone they look like little metal beads on the necklace and the tag, but they're actually metal that's been put over like the river stone from the rivers here,
Mm-hmm.
that like kind of keeps that sense of what's normal, natural, and local. If that makes any sense. That's it's a significant working in some ways, but it's done in a huge vat, and we just have a little piece of what are a big working, if that makes any sense. But it's really about sensing what's alien, if that makes is what it is. So when I say it senses magic, we may say that, but we're saying something that's from outside our tradition.
Okay, I like that. Let me ask then, Alina. So sort of the last of our questions, kind of about transcendence and destiny. So Normally you have access to some minor magics that your characters know. When you transcend, you have access to the full rich named possibilities of your magics there. What is it? What does it feel like to transcend? Like, what is transcendence like? Is it an emotion? Is it, a summoning up of mana? What do you imagine that for yourself or generally transcendence is?
I don't wanna speak in general because I think that's better like for every single character like to just say what for their character would be.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah. So
Well,
what is Alina's transcendence?
I think for it would be like maybe like it would be like set off like by heightened emotional response, like by extreme emotions. It would like set off into like to just send. How does it feel? I think it would depend on what exactly triggered it. Like it was like triggered by anger, it would be like different than if it was like triggered by something other emotion.
Mm-hmm.
As if like I'm personally kind of like a bit stumped and this. I feel like I like maybe like get a better idea of this in actual play, how this would actually feel. Because I do like the idea of, it, of at least for Alina, it being triggered by extreme emotion. So I think I might like wait until I actually get a point where Alina transcends in play to maybe like describe how it feels, because I feel like it will just
Sure. I think
very much
that's
depend on emotion.
fair. 37, is there anything that you want to establish about your transcendence, the feeling of it, how how it's different from other people, what it looks like, anything that you want to establish?
Can you go to someone else first?
Sure. Let me put this, since we'll kind of skip to Akemi here. What is it that you yourself have had a shared vision about, that you've been involved with it, but the others have had it, some shared sense of something that's happening here, uh, magically or supernaturally, or some feeling. What kind of vision do you think you've had?
Like vision, are we talking about like foresight vision or like just more like a goal, or like, I guess I'm trying to figure out what kind of shared vision we're talking about here.
Yeah, I'm good either way. I mean, so we can certainly do it as the characters talking about what they imagine they'd like to have, or it could actually be a supernatural thing that the group has seen for the future, a calamity or something of that kind.
Because like I think probably one reason why that we are, aside from like the controlled factors here for us, I feel like one reason like why we're not just outright going against the man kind of thing in general, like 100% of the time, is that there's probably the fact that there was like a shared vision that some kind of big and kind of like foreboding kind of magical projectile or thing that is yet to be kind of understood in the it was kind of given to in a vision that kind of like seemed to land and kind of decimate the land that we know as our home.
Absolutely. I'm going to come back to you in a second. 37, did you want to follow up on that question of transcendence?
Yeah, I'm not sure what like because like Alina has already talked about transcendence, so I'm not sure. Are you asking like the part where it's different or?
Any of those questions that they've got there under transcendence, like if there's something you want to say about it at this point to establish something about what your transcendence feels or looks like, or if you think there is some overlap with others. It is challenging to have to ask this early on before you've played. I kind of going to the list of standard transcendence questions from Girl by Moonlight.
Yeah, and I do have a question because like from the series, the document you sent us, like in this setting, like we always, like all of us always have magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like because in Go by Moonlight, it's not clear if you have magic without transcendence. Like some playbooks imply you do and some don't. But in this case, we are all assumed to have magic, even when we don't transcend, right?
Right. But so the magic that you have is essentially the ability to create, like a light globe and to start a fire. The very basic kind of cantrip, simple magics is what you can do when you're not transcended. When you're transcended, you have access to, the fuller level, range, and power of spells.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the part that confused me because like the last time we played Girl by Moonlight, we are going by the assumption is that like when you are not transcended, you don't have any magic. But like for example, like my ability for time traveler saw it coming. It says I can expand my special armor to do things like be in two places at once or perform similar feat of time manipulation. So like that's like very explicitly like like you have magic even when you are not transcended.
Yeah, that's because that's a particular move that you've got there. Yeah. Yeah. I think moves kind of like those break the rules of things. That's certainly a special ability that you have outside of that.
Yeah, but I was just a little confused about like the assumption of like how much magic you are supposed to have without transcendence.
So without transcendence, your magic can do the kinds of things that, like, if you had a toolkit, you could probably do. Like very basic, workman-like tasks, minor tricks and things. But when you're transcended, you have access to your full range of powers, or you may have a specialized thing like your time traveler saw it coming.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Uh, so like you're the person who's probably has, given that you've interacted with your magic in 37 lives, is there anything you want to say about like what it feels to you when you do transcend and use that greater magic? Is it very different from how other people operate? Is it similar? What's it like for you?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think because like the magic is developed by our is this it's our country, like our city, right. Because the magic is developed by the R&D of our city authority, so I don't think it's fundamentally different from like anyone else's. But like Like I think the more different stuff happen when I actually have to rewind time or something, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't think like my transcendence is significantly different from anyone else's, but I think a lot more goes on when I actually manipulate time. But like most people cannot even perceive that's happening because like the nature of time and stuff.
Okay. I think that is absolutely fair. Akemi, let me ask you this. Uh, we'll assume that there is at least one other core team like yourself. Is there just one? Are there a couple of them? Or are there a lot of them scattered around the city?
I would say that it's kind of more or less there's gonna be other ones that are there's gonna be several other ones. Some of them are kind of on the more of the mercenary end where they do not like answer to any singularized like authority.
Ooh.
Whereas others that may or may not have at least some kind of connection with us and understanding. But yeah, some of them are just kind of those like ones that are just, oh yeah, they're useful for us, but they also kind of have their own agenda still and may or may not coincide with us at times.
So we've got at least a couple of ones that are parallel to you, run by the authorities, but then we've also got uh, mercenary firefighters out there who may get in your way there. I like that. We have for the series sheet, uh, your group gets a series ability and a transcendent ability. So we probably need to make that choice there. So Saracen, I come back around to you. Are there one or a couple of those series abilities that you think are good? You are muted.
So the most boring, but certainly particularly useful one that gets you a little bit ahead in the game is Revelation, which gives us a dot, another action rating dot. And those are pretty nice to have because we have so few right now at the beginning. And let's see, in Commonwealth and free downtime actions are precious as well. I don't know, everything's delicious, but the starting thing, the Revelation is pretty puffy for where we are. And that's the time that it's the most puffy, is right now.
Thoughts?
For pragmatics.
Would folks be okay with having Revelation? Gives everybody an extra dot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I think like defy, analyze, and confess are all pretty useful. Like action, like it's easy to contextualize how to use them.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not confess, but defy and analyze.
So let's have everyone. You may choose defy, analyze, or confess, and put an extra die action rating into one of those. And then Alina, you also start with a transcendent ability for your team. Thoughts on which of those it would be interesting to you?
Just give me a second to just read them.
Sure.
Okay. I don't really have any strong feelings for any of them,
Okay.
but I feel like maybe like Music of Souls kind of just like maybe like fits the general theme that you're going for being like the corpse, the volunteers that help disarm the unexploded spells and just like save people in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that just kind of fits, but I'm not too married to any of these choices. If someone else has something they would rather have, then I'm fine with that as well.
Burton, any strong thoughts on those?
Yeah, let me see. I think right of equality is the one I'm like least sure about, because like it let you mark XP when something specific happen and it may
Mhm.
not happen.
Yeah,
And
very
like
contingent. Yeah.
yeah, and like also we are not doing a super long game, so like XP is like more like it's more likely that we will get some XP and then we don't get an advance anyway. So yeah.
So a chemi between Colors of Magic and Music of Souls. Thoughts on either direction of those?
Okay, so we're talking about these. So each probably links marks transcendent doc. Well, I know that when it comes to resisting consequences, Magic Souls is pretty nice. But it does mention using special armor. So if people have already taken special armor like traits, then it might be more beneficial to go with like Colors of Magic, because then it's something that everybody can make use of.
That is a good point, because the Time Traveler has taken that. Let's go with Colors of Magic. It's generally useful. It's not necessarily contingent, like some other things are. And then we'll know that, like, if we want to take another transcendent ability, that Music of Souls is probably our next pick on that. So everyone may add a transcendent dot in Flow, Forgive, and Empathize. So, Saracena, tell me something about this theater. Tell me something about the shape of it or the look of it, what we see from the outside as we come in or when we come in through the doors. Like, are there domes, towers, big ronda? Is it part of a complex? What do you think we see here?
I think when you come in, and it is a thing of like, you come into the lobby, and the lobby, this is a tall theater. I mean, it goes up, it's like a big full operatic kind of thing with levels, and you going up, and there's little balconies and different things for seeing the stage from different places. And I think when you come in, it is like all the grandeur of the Imperial era, except it's been wrapped in sheets, if that makes any sense, except for one of the big main chandeliers, because the sheets have sort of fallen down, and they keep falling down because the chandelier kind of magically wants to show itself off. And it's the weird thing of, because of this like weird magic that's been placed on it, it will cast off any thing to hide it, but it also does the thing where it de-smudges the windows so that light can always get in to reflect off of it, and things like that. It will like sort of suck up and use any light that comes into that lobby. It is like a thing of, it wants to be seen and admired.
Nice. Alina, some part of the building is damaged. Is it the walkway out front? Is it like one of the side buildings? Is it like the cafe that was in there? Is it a tower that has fallen? Is it something else? What from the outside do we see is kind of like the building has been damaged in the past?
I wanna say that perhaps looking at the building from like a certain angle, one can like see that there's like this big hole in the roof. I
Big
can like
hole. Yeah, okay.
I can
What's underneath the hole?
I can like this is inspired like by debris, so I'm like imagining that perhaps one of like the Emperor planes was like shut down and it like crash landed through the theater. So like that hole is basically the hole where like the plane landed, and below the hole there's debris, and the plane that was taken like exploded is like dead in the lava. Like you can like get to it and you like open up the hatch, sit in it, like it's like imagine like it exploded, it like burnt up, but then like it the flames went out and it's just like this like charred plane that's like in like this rubber beneath the hole in the theater.
So this is one of the sort of we talked about this kind of being, somewhere between diesel and steampunk. This is one of these arcane flying machines that came crashing down into here that is still laying there that can actually get into. I like that.
Shall we say it's on an upper balcony, or is it in the main seating, do you think?
Like I imagine it to be like in like the main seating area of the theater, but we could also like maybe place it like backstage if we wanna like maybe have it be there, because I do imagine like I imagine like this flying contraption, this plane, until when the name will come up with in universe. Like I imagine like it's like maybe like completely unusable, like it's been like it's completely destroyed, but people can still like sit in it. Because I imagine like it might be like this like hangout spot in the theater, like maybe like some of the characters can just like made like the little spot they go into and just like
Uh,
hang out.
Let me suggest then that what you said, like the upper balcony is a good place because then it's up there. It's a little bit isolated. People can use it as a place to kind of retreat away. Uh,
Yeah, I
that
think
sound
that
good?
would work.
Okay. Uh, uh, Akemi, what is in the area around this theater building? Is the neighborhood just ruins? Is it, a theater district? Is it a mix? Is it residential now? What do we see in the area around?
Uh, I like the thought of like, um, given our little wartime here and all, is where it's like around this theater, you have like little bits of like residency that's more like propped up and everything like from scraps or like various like tents or things like that, where it's like it's not like like whereas you have like a whole lot of damaged buildings and things kind of like crumbled about as well. Um, and then to like kind of like parts of the around the theater, just like maybe like small bits of it where you can still see what was originally part of the kind of more of the original kind of theatrical district and everything. But like for all intents and purposes, a lot of things have been kind of kind of horrifically kind of ebbed away by the war.
We see the faded glories. We can see the outlines of those buildings. We can see some echoes of that, but we see the shelters and things. I like that a lot. 37. What has has the city authorities set up in the building or around the building that is your kind of like training ground or like formal meeting place, the mustering point when they call you all together? What is that? Is it a particular room? Is it a outside training grounds? Is it something else?
Yeah, I think it's the stage, right?
Okay.
I think they have just because I imagine this is like it's a really big stage. Like I don't know, maybe because this world has magic, maybe they have, like really large stage meant for like much larger production with magical automatons and stuff like like a deep multi-layer moving platform and stuff like that. So once they have cleared that out, they have a large space they can renovate and put into all kinds of training installation and like mechanisms.
So they've taken some of the clock punk stage gear, and they've used that for target practice or places to practice working on mechanicians or things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. We're going to take our first break here. And when we come back, we're going to launch into the obligation phase, that first start of that. And then to downtime, we'll walk through that process. So let's take 10 and then we will come back. So we have our theater. We have we can swoop in through that glistening main lobby, the windows there, kind of camera can fly through and see the upper balcony where we see the broken down plane. We can see some of the water damage, the repairs to the ceiling to kind of conceal things. The stage that is set up with weird tables and machinery and devices and things like that. Let me ask this of each of you. Alina, you all, I mean, there's just the four of you, plus, a couple of NPCs. Certainly we know that Charlie, the NPC from 37's background, is here as well. But so you get a lot of room. What space has Alina made her own? Like, do you have a room? Do you have a corner? Like what is the space that we see that you have set up? Is it a workshop? What do you think?
As an engineering training, I think Alina would like find like a nice little really like secluded part in the backstage of the theater. I just like a nice little place like that's like out of the way, like a place that you can't really just like go there by like accident. It's one of those places where if you want to go there, you need to specifically go there. It's not like on the way, like you just need to like specifically go to your way to make like to that like end of the backstage. I think Alina has made like a little like workshop there, like little workshop / sleeping area.
You sleep in your little workshop. It's like a little maze to get back to where you're at. For 37, what space have you set up for yourself, and what does it look like?
Yeah, I think it's at the like one of what was it called? Like the balcony space that doesn't have a crash aircraft. Because I used to be aristocrat, so when we go to the theater, that's the place I'm familiar with. And like it's not the most like private because like I don't even think I have like a blanket or anything, because like I think because I used to be noble, I'm used to being waited on by like waitress and butlers and stuff. So like I don't mind having people seeing me like underdressed or whatever. As for what I have, I actually don't think there are a lot because like I don't because like for me the whole timeline is like provisionally rated, like it's just another run of the same show. So I don't know how long I will, like I don't have the same sense of how long I will be around as other people. So I think I live out of a suitcase. And I think like I have like some of the most important things I have is that I have things like I have what look like an originally like screenplay. Oh no, it's not stage play, right?
Mhm.
I have what Charlie thought was an original stage play. That's actually me trying to work out like the timeline, like why someone does something and why like something causes something else down the line. Like
Mhm.
in a modern like movie, that would be like one of those string theory, like boards filled with like photos and strings. But I don't think we are at that level of like popular conscious yet. So like I
Mhm.
just have a stage play, and I think I collect knickknacks that no, it's no longer possible in the timeline. Like record of a band that's like the second record of a band that will not produce the second record
Mhm.
because like their violinist died in a bombing and stuff like that. The writer's third novel, but he cannot write the third novel because he joined the army in this timeline, etc.
Nice. Nice. I like that. Akemi, what about for you? What is it? What is the place that you have made your own? What does that look like?
Probably just like have like a desk kind of in a corner area that's kind of surrounded by a whole bunch of walls of scrap metal, whatever have you, and like relics and anything like that. Just kind of wouldn't realize I'm behind all this junk, and everything like that. Just work. The only thing that like indicates there's anything behind this walls of material is just occasionally like seeing like the little like sparking of like welding or electricity kind of happening, kind of just lighting up from behind it all.
So people coming in will assume it is a junk pile, a collection
Oh,
of.
yeah. So like it looks more or less like somebody just like dumped their garbage in a spot, and it's like, okay, what is this?
And tell me, how big is Scuttle? I assume Scuttle is with you. How big are they?
That one I would say is like they're probably like just I would say they're like kind of like around, say about like probably like um that in between of like, if you know like the size of a Chihuahua and then it's just the
Okay.
size of a Labrador, that in between of those two.
Okay. Okay. So a decent size. Like, when you're working, do they sit and watch? Are they doing other things? What do they do?
Honestly, they just kind of they either kind of show up at random. They kind of just do their own thing.
Okay.
At this point, Akemi has no idea what the motivations of Scuttle is, other than
Mm,
I brought this thing uh back up and running, and it has its own personality and its own thoughts. So it just kind of sometimes will do things that kind of, even for Akemi, is like, okay, well, why did you do that? Okay.
nice. Nice. And Saracena, what niche, what place have you carved out here in the theater?
Well, Senna is an air spirit. So I think that essentially there are the big lighting tracks up at the top of the ceiling that go around, and it probably does a thing where there's a little hidden staircase that's right off that main balcony where the plane went down.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what it is it started out where Senna just wanted to be up there, but we ended up building like a set of things that made it slightly easier for Sarah to move around up there, like rope rails.
Mhm.
If that makes any sense on the catwalks, where there weren't any. And there's probably like, she has a sort of sling there where she sleeps. That's up there, like she's just sort of hanging up over the whole thing near that hole, so
Mhm.
that the wind comes in and there's just lots of space and air around her, if that makes any sense. And then she has a box where she keeps her stuff. But only a little bit, because it is inconvenient to carry things down. So
Okay.
she doesn't own a lot of things.
I like that. So we're very much strung up in the rafters,
Mhm.
the moving around up there. So the first phase of our phases of play is the obligation phase. And in the obligation phase, we will take your lowest attribute, and the attributes being again, sun, moon, and stars. You'll take the lowest of them. If there's a tie, you get to choose. And you're going to be rolling. This is going to determine some of the stress that you start with. If you roll with sun, that means you're dealing with obligations, life events, things like that that involve scary people, circumstances, or is physically taxing. If you're rolling with moon, these are heartbreaking obligations, things that affect you emotionally. And if stars, it's about social pressure, anxieties, that kind of thing. So, Alina, what is your lowest?
My lowest would be Moon.
And you're stranger, so you actually roll with stars every time.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. And also, I should point out, and I should have made this clear, with the dot that you get in flow, forgive, and empathize, that actually goes in
I was study.
that third row. Yeah.
Okay, let me just fix
Sure.
that.
In which case you'll be rolling with 2 dice. And you're welcome to roll physical dice at home, or we do have a roller there on the lines and veils tab.
To use the digital one, just we can
Sure.
just see. Okay, so I'm doing how many dice for this?
2 dice.
2 dice. The dice are the d6, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I
Very
got
nice.
10 in total. And just a
So
question, because this is, I believe, my first forged. When counting dice, we count the total, or do we count the dice separately?
the highest die, we look for the highest die of them. If you have more than 1 6, that's a triumph, a critical. You do better. So what you'll do is normally on the obligation phase, you would mark stress equal to 6 minus what you rolled. So you'll go ahead on your character and mark in your stress track that first box of stress.
So mark the first box.
And so this isn't that hard, but it is some social pressure. And I think that what we see is the High Counselor, Lady Micardo, is doing one of those reviews, one of those checks, and she has stopped to chat with you, and she will say, Alina, walk with me, would you, as I need to check some things?
Okay.
And she'll walk and she makes small talk. She's very tall. You're very small, so there is a big discrepancy. So she's almost always looking down at you physically. And she will say, I heard a rumor, and perhaps you can clarify for me if this is true or something that's just wrong, that you might be interacting with a person who has, let us say, left the battlefield without permission. They not from our side, but from the other side.
I don't think I know anyone like that, ma'am.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear you say that, because if it were true that you were interacting with a representative of hostile powers, I would be disappointed in you.
Oh,
We have an understanding?
yeah, yeah.
Good, good. Then we need say no more on this topic.
All right, ma'am.
All right. And she will head off, leaving you, in her wake.
I just want to like mention actually two things like,
Sure.
before we go on. In last session, like we went to like the magic characters, and I didn't like have anything at that time.
Uh-huh.
I think we're gonna mention it now because I did come up with something, just so we have done
Oh.
in the record.
Yeah.
So for the magic name, I've gone with Dagger's Inheritor, and basically how I imagine this is now in this world. Does everyone have magic, or is it just that some people have magic?
I think it's established that only some people know how to use magic, have magic.
Okay, so how I imagine this is that Elena, her entire life, she doesn't know magic. She didn't know magic at all. But when I see that in like that unexploded spell that took everything from her, that after the wake, she kind of like inherited the magic from the unexploded spell, and now she like can use magic, but she is very reluctant to use magic because she knows that it came from this tragedy, this weapon. And when I say that this magic basically manifests, not manifests, but this magic is basically, yeah, this like an explodes, but basically just like a giant bomb. As you get to compare it, just like a big bomb. And this means that Elena, like Elena's like magic now, that she can basically infuse any object that she wants, like with magical power, and basically turn it into an explosive. So she can basically like pick up like a rock off the ground, infuse magic into it, and throw it like a grenade. But she's very reluctant like to use the magic because this magic represents basically what took her family from her. So she's very reluctant to use it and only use it in like extreme circumstances.
Okay. So you're an engineer, you're trying to do that, and yet your magic is sort of uncontrolled destruction or decreation, right?
Yeah, basically that.
Okay. Nice.
I do not really have like a true name yet, unless you want to go with something.
It's up to you. I mean, I can imagine that you might, I mean, your true name might be the name of the spell, or the name of the mage who cast the spell originally, or something like that.
Oppenheimer. Okay. And just the other thing, not related to anything in game, but I'm just like curious, like have we really established like the ages of the characters? Because like that's something from like last session at the D&D. Get a good grasp on like how order exactly our characters are.
That's a good thing. Sarah Senna, how old are you imagining?
Maybe older teens, 19. I think
Okay.
I said 15 last time, but it seems like some of the stuff is a little bit older, so I don't want to be like the tiny child in
Okay.
the group, if that makes any sense. So 19, 20, sort of like should have had some significant relationships by this point in your life, and it's just been Senna. So
Kemi, how old are you?
They're probably around like 18, 19.
Okay.
They don't know, but it's probably around that age.
Okay. Yeah, vaguely in that ballpark. For 37, how old are you in apparently?
Yeah, I think around the same age bracket, probably like old enough to marry, which is another reason why I escaped the original timeline, so I don't have to pick a suitor.
Okay, I like that. So Alita, where do you fit in with that, do you think?
Like the youngest, I'm willing like to make Helena is like 19, which kind of like fits with everyone else. So I guess like around like 19, 20 would be the
Okay.
age. Like I just wanted to establish that because I feel like that would kind of inform the roleplay, and I just wanted to show it.
Yeah.
Where
And
each character stood.
I think we established that you look the youngest in some ways of the group.
Did we establish that?
I think you're at least the smallest physically, I think, of the group is my recollection, but I could be wrong.
I think I might be actually the
Oh,
smallest.
that's right. Yeah, you're tiny.
Yeah, I'm very tiny.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
Personally, I'm not sure how tall Helena is. Actually, she definitely taller than Akemi. I will let you have the shortest title.
Yes. I like that.
But
I'm also going to briefly do something here before I move on. So I'm going to briefly screen share the NPCs. Just so people see the pictures in case anyone is watching this. And then stop share. And I do that because now the video will be uploaded as HD rather than SD on YouTube. I don't know why it works that way. Let's come to 37 for your obligation phase. So what is your lowest?
Let me see. Right now, Star and Moon are tied.
Okay. So which would you like to roll with? A question of social anxiety or a question of your heart?
Yeah, I think I'm going to choose Moon.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
Okay, let me get the dice roller. So 1d6. I got a 2.
That's 4 stress that you'll mark here. You mentioned about the fact that you have, records of bands that don't exist, novels that don't exist. You have sketches of that, memories of those things that you keep. So I assume part of what you do, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, like when you come to another timeline, there is a bit of trying to assess what the differences are, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about something that you go to check on that you hope will be true. An art object or a person or something like that you've just found out like isn't here, is dead, something has happened to them or they have changed. What do you think that would be? Do you want something like a particular person or something else?
Yeah. I think it's something relatively innocuous looking, like it's something that doesn't seem relevant. Oh right, I think I would count something like there is maybe there is a park or a small forest, and I go count the number of a specific type of tree, and I'm dismayed because there is one missing, and I'm upset because from my observation I know whenever there is one tree missing from this park, you know like things are generally significantly worse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they are tied together, but maybe
It's
I
our
know.
butterfly effect kind of thing.
Yeah, butterfly effect. I know the fact that this tree is missing means that helping saving Akemi is significantly more difficult. It doesn't make it impossible, but it makes it difficult. And I haven't figured out what's the causality chain of events that led to this bizarre link between this tree and this person. But I know that's true.
So when you go to look, when we kind of see you in this grove of trees in this neighborhood, has a tree been cut down? Has it gotten sick and died? Is it just missing? Has someone cut it down? Something else?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to say it's struck by lightning, right?
Mm.
And this happened. I wouldn't say this happen more often than it should, because it's different, it's different timeline. But I think it happens about half of the time. Half of the time, this significant tree gets struck down by lightning and things gets more difficult, and the other half of the time it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think we see you there. I think you see, there are people that are clearing away the charred bits. They've had to take down the tree. It has those lines that run through it when a lightning strikes a tree. The almost the veins that go through. And we see you do that, and you know that it's not good. Akemi, I think stars is your lowest.
Yep, and I got a 2.
Got 2, so 4 stress there.
Woo!
Um,
Oh, okay, it's like a checkbox on this one. Boom.
So you've never transcended, and yet you're here in this. You've got the relic thing. But I think, let me ask you this: the people who've brought you in, do they think you have magic, or do they just assume you can do relics and you can't do magic? What is the pressure there for you?
The assumption is definitely that I am more or less as good as I can be with as good my worth is as much as I can do with relics and the tools I make. If I don't have that, I don't have too much worth.
What is the thing that the task that they've set you to that has proved more difficult than you thought? They've said, if you're a specialist in relics, we need you to do this thing for us.
I would assume it's probably along the lines of trying to repair a relic that has been damaged a little bit more than at this point what most people would consider beyond repair from from the battlefield kind of thing.
they've hauled it in. They made a big scene of bringing it in and taking it to your workshop area. We see it, you know, a lot of magical damage to it. It's a little bit like Scuttle, but bigger and different colors to it. And like you cannot, like there's something there you're missing. And I think that as you are there doing that, that is when the High Counselor comes in and says, Miss Watanabe, how are things going?
And them just kind of not really paying attention to the entrance, still just kind of doing their work and messing with it and everything, and just being like, I mean, between completely totaled to missing necessary parts, I'd say a miracle will if I want to get this thing to even like function within the day, much less the week.
Are you saying then that you are unable to complete this task?
I could probably try and stay up tonight and push. I could possibly. I'll need a lot more coffee, and I don't really particularly care to stay up late for something that somebody could have done proper protection of the relic, but I guess I can do that. I'm not. I'll need some more resources though.
So I take it you're telling me that you can complete the task that we put to you.
I guess yeah, no, I can do that. I'll make it happen.
Good. I would hate to have to go back and tell people that you were unable to do this, given your role and place here on the team.
Yeah, no, I'll make sure it gets done. Just the thing of just like hearing as they just kind of continue to make more sparks and everything, and on some like welding, that they're just kind of they're doing more or less as a means of just kind of making noise and to just ignore the around them, in the weld here that they're doing is completely an unnecessary one. But just right now, just wait till the distraction's gone.
Yeah. Just go, oh, well, there it is. And she will turn and leave to the hot, noisy welding. Sarah Senna, what is your lowest?
Either sun or moon.
All right. Which would you like to roll with?
So sun is scary people and moon is
Heart.
heartbreak. Well, we know there's a scary person walking around, so let's do sun.
All
we
right.
can just have her just make all of us
Miserable.
miserable.
Ooh.
Oh, I rolled an awesome 2, so I'm right up there with that.
Marking 4.
Oh my gosh, what a great way to start the day.
Okay. So where are you when the High Counselor finds you?
Well, that's a good question. I think that I am probably in the one of the less awesome dressing rooms that we use to keep our supplies in. We use this because it's the only thing that kind of has a lock on it. And also Charlie doesn't care about it as much as they do the other suite of state, dressing rooms, because that's where they live out of. but we got this one. It's not very big, but it does have like, gaslight fixtures or whatever so that we could see and all of that sort of thing in there. And we filled it up with shelves, but all the shelves like have no back so that you could still see what was originally on the walls, and you could see like the pictures that were hung up with autographs and stuff. Those are back there behind our supplies. So
And I think the thing that is the High Counselor clearly has something to trace your tags, because she
Mhm.
always manages to find you wherever you
Yes.
are at. And she does come in and looks around and says, Sarah.
Counselor, good morning. Or is it afternoon? And she sort of looks out like she's trying to see what the natural light is coming, from somewhere.
It is just before lunch, so you'll want to eat soon.
I look forward to that.
I have, and she'll reach into a valise and pulls out a box. I have a new set of tags for you to replace the ones that you currently have.
Place them?
Yes. Come here.
All right.
And she has you come over and she says, turn around.
I can, okay.
And she will undo the clasp because she can undo the clasp.
All right.
And then she will take out a new set of tags, and she will place it and click it around your neck. And the click is maybe a little more loud than it ought to be in your ears.
You mean thunderous?
Yes. She says, we had a request from the Registry of Masks.
Uh-huh.
They wanted to make sure that should something happen to you, that they would be able to help you and recover you.
I'm glad to hear that the war effort and the Registry of Masks is working in concert for the good of us all.
Yes, yes, it is for the good of us all. So just be aware of that.
So no one else needed a different set of tags.
No,
That's good.
we have given the trace key to the registry, in addition to my ministry having the trace key.
And she sort of turns around and she bows and she's very sensible, very sensible. She says it very politely and it sounds lovely when she says it. Two voices. One of them maybe less certain.
Mm-hmm. She'll say, well, there it is. And she will nod and she will turn around to leave.
There's that thing where I turn back and she goes, we aren't even people to her. And
Absolutely. So the next phase that we do is the downtime phase. And in the downtime phase, everyone gets 2 downtime actions, unless you have an ability that gives you an extra one, like a Kemi. What can you do during the downtime phase? If someone were injured, had harm marked on their tracks, you could help them recover. That's a process that goes on. You could work on a long-term project. Typically, a long-term project is if it's something you come up with that you want to do That's a classic one. One of the big possible long-term projects is essentially gathering allies to you. If you look on the series sheet, there are some people that could be allies. We've got the instructor, the gossip, and the voice are kind of at the top rank. You could start with one of those. That is a project that takes 4 ticks of the clock to complete, and then you get that person, you give them a name, and the group gets that special ability. So that's another possibility. You could also what is called in this support and supplies. Basically, your character goes and tries to get materials to help you out in the field. This is our preparation track there at the top. And the more you have of that, the higher tier you are when you go to deal with your mission. When you do that, you can also gather information to get to ask questions, and each playbook has a different set of questions for that. But the biggest thing that you can do is you can make a connection. Now, it's a little bit different for the stranger in that they have they can make a connection because the pick that you made, Alina, but you have to kind of frame it a little bit differently. Basically, make a connection is you choose another protagonist and you describe doing something with them. And based on the roles that you make, you can give them some links with you. And that is a super useful resource out in the field. So let's start with Akemi this time. What would you like to do?
And I already have the plan to make a connection, and I was thinking of one with probably gonna do it with Alina.
Okay. So, like, what is your plan to do? Where do you want to run into them?
Well, I'm seeing this as more or less after my obligation being like, oh, okay, I'm having to work on this busted up relic. I'm going to be up all night kind of working on this thing. I'm also missing resources. So I'm kind of just at this point, like, I've fallen into this maze of which Alina kind of resides in and such, in search of like things that I can maybe make use of for the relics repair. And I think I'm that somewhere around there I might just accidentally stumble into Alina in this maze, if that sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, Alina, where when we see Akemi come and find you, what do we see you doing at that moment?
Yes, I think when Akemi stumbles, Alina's just like kind of like in like the workshop, just like built up in a corner, just kind of like maybe at this point like just kind of like reading a book. Like it's a bit downtime, doesn't have anything that she needs to do at the moment, so she's just kind of like sitting down there reading a book as Akemi walks in, and she just sort of like looks at you, that doesn't say anything, just kind of like stares at your beat and just gives a little wave.
And just like seeing, like, once again, just been so one-track mind here, kind of looking around for things, not expecting one to just kind of stumble into you, much less that I actually somehow ended up into your maze here. Just kind of got lost in my own thoughts and just been like, oh,
You looking for something?
yeah, actually, I'm having to fix another banged up relic, and I was kind of looking around here, and I don't know, I guess I got kind of lost in your stuff, and I didn't. Do you happen to have anything around here that, I don't know, kind of has kind of a magical kind of metallics with it. I'm looking for things that are better conduit. I'll admit I'm not very familiar with magics.
Okay, if you're looking for better conduits, I think I should have some of them lying. Oh yeah, there should be some in the box over there. And she points like to a box that's like way up high.
And I think Akemi is just kind of that thing of like, looks up, just their eyes squint like, yes, this is the trials and tribulations I'm about to embark on, and starts just trying to kind of situate themselves like, can I climb up this? Can I just get on my tippy toes? All sorts of things, just trying everything to kind of reach up here.
Do you need my help?
And they just kind of, in the middle of this like strange stretch trying to reach up, it's like they just suddenly kind of drop to their feet, down to their feet and kind of slump. And it's like, that would be very much appreciated, actually.
All right. And actually, when I actually retcon something, I feel like instead of making Alina to be on the small set, I wanna maybe like make Alina maybe like the tallest in the group.
Okay.
So if that's like alright with Vertin and Sherry, like I'm thinking like maybe where Akemi is like, what did he say? Where Akemi is like 4'7". I wanna say like that Alina's maybe like 6'8", just big.
So basketball player. Okay. Yeah,
Basically.
absolutely.
So Lina just puts her book down and pretty effortlessly just like grabs the box and just holds it like in front of Akemi. Yeah, here you go.
And they just kind of put their hand on it without before taking it and just looking up at you, kind of in this like mystified thing of like, what is it? It's just like you can tell in the back of their head, just like, what is it like to just be able to just see from that point of view in the world, kind of thing, before they kind of take it. It's like, thanks. What were you doing anyway over here? Like, you were reading a book, it looked like.
Yeah, just passing the time, a bit before the next assignment comes in.
So, out of curiosity, are you able to just take time off like that and not have someone breathing down your neck?
Well, it helps that I'm just like out of the way.
And Akemi just a little bit like, yeah, it probably also helps that your neck's a little bit harder for them to breathe down. It's maybe a little out of their reach.
Alina just kind of gives like a nervous chuckle. But I am like working like on some stuff I need to like fix up, just like make, but I do take breaks. They are important. Can't overwork yourself.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And if I can help you out, since you kind of helped me find what I need, let me know. I'm not very good at much, but maybe I can get you I can make you a tool or a thing that I guess maybe will automate some of your work life. I don't even know I don't even know what you actually do here. I kind of tunnel vision with my work. So actually, what do you do around here?
Well, at the moment, I'm just kind of. Wait a second. Yeah, okay. At the moment, I'm just kind of like I forgot the names of my own NPCs. Mr. Mileski kind of like assigned me to try to like improve upon the design of these, like short radio jammer. It's proving a bit more difficult than I imagine. That's kind of a bit why I was just like reading down there, just kind of like clearing my mind before I just get all back up into trying to figure out how this thing actually works.
Well, I don't necessarily know how radio jamming works, but I can always give you. I know that I can have Scuttle bring over to you. I have some metals that I know that if you kind of put them around objects, prevent them from sending things outward. Maybe that'll give you some ideas. Obviously I don't think you're going to be able to put that metal around all of the city, but maybe it'll at least tell you how that stuff works. Maybe there's some science behind it.
Yeah, perhaps like just having Scatters here to keep me company is more than enough.
And Akemi just kind of like nods and everything's like, well, and it's like, well, I'll come and try and help you out once I get done with this work here. I feel like I've probably dilly-dallied enough. Thank you so much. And kind of just awkwardly kind of turns, like they don't know how to kind of end a conversation. And so they kind of turn like kind of almost mechanically and then start walking off.
Alina, this interaction, this interruption that you've had, is this something you appreciate? Do you appreciate having a chance to interact with Akemi, or did it bother you?
Yeah.
Like, what was your reaction, or you think?
Yeah, I think Alina definitely appreciated it. Like
Okay.
she's like I feel like Alina's not like a character that doesn't necessarily like go out of her way to speak with people. Like she's more of a speak when spoken to
Mhm.
type of people. Like she really like try and like speak with people like when like left alone, like just not to
Yeah.
just to feel the silence. But for the most part, like she kind of like keeps to herself. So when someone comes to her and just like talks to her, like she does appreciate it, especially she's trying to like to strengthen like the bond she has with her
Yeah.
fellow like squad mates.
So, Akemi, you get an extra die for your connection roll from Alina.
Yeah.
You got your bonus from your unlikely hero. And what do you think you want to roll that with?
Yeah, and I was thinking that this is kind of in this current moment, it was kind of like a perceive because she's taking in the one, she was there on originally on the mission of like trying to find some machinery and everything. Two, it was the thing of like once actually talking with Lena, it was kind of like trying to understand and like notice like, okay, I see you, but I'm not really seeing you
Mhm.
in a way outside of like work. So it's that thing of like trying to understand a little bit more about what they are perceiving as their coworker.
Perfect. So go ahead and roll that with 3 dice.
Let's see here. Actually, yeah. Yep, 3 dice. Perfect. And roll. Okay. Oh, woo,
So
critical.
that is a critical.
All right.
So Alina, you're going to write under links that you have 4 links with Akemi. And I believe the critical, Akemi, is that you also get to write a link with Alina.
Woo. And also, since I decided to start things off with actually having the believe in me, my links can be used with anybody. So even though they have it with me, you can use it for anybody later on.
It's very nice. Saracena, what do you want to do for your first downtime action?
Oh, I already said I was in the supply camp. How about I do the support and supplies
Okay.
for the thing? Because we want to get those tiers up so that we aren't totally behind the 8 ball. So
Yeah.
I will start with one of those.
So what do you think it is that you want to roll for that?
That is great idea. I mean, a great question. Let me look at what my things mean. That is always it. Is let's see. So I'm not working with people. Okay, so I think I'll go with analyze.
That makes sense.
Where I've been in the storeroom and I have that sense of, hey, here's what we're missing. So I'm gonna go and get those things.
Okay.
Or make them happen. So that will probably be it.
So roll me 1 die.
Yeah, this is so depressing.
I know. Early on.
A 3, truly
3.
pitiful.
So that is 2 ticks on the support and supplies track. And you do get to ask a question. And given that this kind of happens outside of the action phase, we can kind of modify those questions as we need to. So what is it you want to know?
Let's see here. So I should get used to my questions. I like the idea that while I'm in there in that dressing room, I actually overhear Charlie talking to themselves. They are want to do, and I hope this is okay, Verton, that I'm talking about your NPC. They're always like reading from a script or doing a play, like they're sounding it out and stuff. So they are talking to themselves, and it becomes clear at a certain point that they're like rehearsing a conversation that they are going to be having with 37, if that makes any sense. So I just want to get a sense of like, and this is probably a question for Verton, is essentially, what is it that that Charlie is worrying about, like something that connects the two of you, essentially, and
Nice.
that they're kind of going through and like working their amazing assault upon your resistances to get what they want.
Yeah, so first I imagine, like, even though like she has this backstory about wanting to take back the theater and being kind of an artistic rival, I actually think like Charlie has like terrible social anxiety and like stage fright. So like I think she's generally like just kind of like usually very timid and like anxious unless she really needs to make a point, and like she would become like more more angry and serious. And so like but I think specifically this time I because I also established that she is ambiguously a love interest, so I think she is like rehearsing some kind of like line, like let like to ask 37 out without feeling like she's asking someone out, like, hey, the weather is so good today, do you want to go for a walk in a park? No, that's too obvious. Like, maybe do you want to go get fish and chips? Oh no, that sounds like a date. Do you want to go to the orchestra with me? No, I don't have money for the orchestra. Like, stuff like that. Like trying to be obvious enough to like give a hint, but not obvious enough to like to make someone immediately feel like, hey, are you hitting on me, or like
Absolutely.
Figure out how to be smooth. Okay. Yes.
Probably hear the scratching as they like scratch things out and rewrite the lines in their book there as they do that, Sarah.
All right. And I do think that there is that thing where it's the two, Sarah and Senna, kind of giggling to themselves.
Nice. Alina, what would you like to do for your first downtime action?
Hmm. I think for my first downtime action, I think going kind of like the same way because Lena's already like in her little workshop cabby. I think like she's just going to like work on like this project like to like like I try to like establish it to be like find the resources like to like help the corps by improving upon the tech that they have to like to help them. Like I don't think that this would be like something that's going to be really useful like in like the city, but it would like be something useful that would be like sent over like to the front lines, like intercept enemy communication.
So that feels like if you're doing something that like, will be generally useful, that feels like you are doing the support and supply move to raise the tier of the stuff that you have. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, that is what I was going for.
Okay. So what do you want to roll that with? What do you think of your different actions is appropriate?
I think analyze might be like the best because we can already establish that Alina is like working to improve this. So like she needs to analyze it, see how it can be improved upon. I think analyze would make sense
Okay.
in this case.
So you can go ahead and roll that with 1d6 then.
26. Okay. Let me see. That's a 2.
So that will give us 2 ticks on that support and supply track. And you do get to ask one of the questions from your gather information list.
No, just okay, got information.
Those are in the third column.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot on that sheet.
Yeah, a lot on the sheet. Oh. I think the logic like this is kind of hard to figure out which question I should ask. I think let's just go with how can I get an edge just because I'm not too sure which question to ask.
You think that that one of the things you might want to, this has kind of been out there. You've heard that some other groups have had trainers come in, instructors come in to help. And that one thing that might be useful is, if you could convince the High Counselor that maybe they could get an instructor to come here, that might be useful. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, that seems reasonable enough.
Okay. I'm going to then take that and put 1 tick on the instructor under the community tab. Essentially 1 tick towards gathering them there. 37. What would you like to do for your first downtime action?
Let me see. Yeah, I think this is yeah, I think I'm going to try to make a connection with Artemi.
Okay.
Yeah,
So like how do you want to set that up?
I think it's like I think it's it's like right before Charlie can ask me out, like right in front of her, I went to Akemi and like I like half asked and like half, like not forcing, like pressured like Akemi to go to like I think it's some kind of artistic event, but like because we don't have money, I think it's something like grassroots and like maybe like there's a dance group on the street, or like musician, like street like baskers, and like basically like like a low budget, grassroots artistic experience. And like I think like I take her to this, like I'm telling her, like all this, like, hey, like that person, you may think he's just basking, but that instrument is actually like it's very difficult to play. It takes a lot of practice, and this dance form is not actually native to the city. It's actually from like this foreign kingdom, etc., etc., etc.
So Kimmy, what's your reaction to the
Yeah.
invitation, and what do we see of you in this?
I think the initial thing is Akemi just being like with him like on the invitation, just because it's like I gotta get this relic done, I got the, like all this stuff, but then it's like then just the kind of realization, it's like I'm probably gonna that thing of like I'm gonna probably burn myself out like how much I'm working today alone on just this one project. So it's like that thing of like after a bit of like reluctance at first, probably is like, you know what, this is probably for the best that I actually kind of step away for a moment, maybe get some different perspective, like for a moment in all. So that's kind of how that kind of went with the initial invite, and then like
Yeah,
um,
yeah, and I think like 37 has this like soft pressuring, like let's
Hmm.
like all smile and like hands behind her back, like, oh, okay, I will wait for you. I'm still waiting. And like it's not like she's not pressuring you, but she is.
yeah, and then like after like everything that was just kind of like kind of described here with the instrument and all and everything like this, I think Akemi's other thing is like it kind of comes out kind of is like seems that you actually have a lot of knowledge on various things. I don't know what that's like. I kind of specialize in. You seem to just know, magic, this. I know that there's a lot of things you help with the corp in general. How do you have the time, much less the uh, the capacity in your mind to just take in all this? Like, how do you know all this stuff?
Yeah, I think like this is like I obviously like my smile widen, and I don't actually answer the question. I deflect. I say, oh, no, you are flattering me. I just dabble. It's all, like you look at all the nobles and aristocrats. They have all these private instructors, and they like they have all this formal education. No, like this is nothing. This is just things I pick up in my spare time reading and such. It's not a big deal.
And Akemi just kind of like shaking their heads, like, no, you very much undersell yourself. I mean, to be quite honest, you managed to do if to like juggle so many different things and keep yourself so well rounded while in the middle of everything that's happening around here. I have to admit, I kind of envy how well you kind of manage your time and how well you kind of just seem to have things to put together, whereas I'm still trying to just figure out my own like kind of slot in all this.
Oh, but you see, I do have a little secret. My secret is I know we will win in the end. So with that in mind, obviously I have to think about what to do with my life, with our lives after we have won. And it can just be, rations and machines and, wherever. There's a life afterward. And you have to think about that too.
You're such a forward thinker there. I mean, how are you so certain that we'll even win? I mean, we're kind of tiny in the eye of even this empire, I feel, and by all means, like, what do we have that makes you just so confident? Like, everything I like, maybe it's just because I don't have like I have magic or anything, but to me, I'm like every day just seems like we're on a losing front at the moment. Like, how do you stay positive?
Yeah, so I think I'm trying to think of a kind of metaphor she would use. Because I feel like chase is overused. Yeah. I think like I think because I cannot maintain this. I think like this front is not perfect. So like sometimes I sleep. So I think at this point she start to talk about something that's more true. And more true means that it's kind of incomprehensible. So like I think she's saying like, oh, you see, a war, it's like, a lot of people think it's like a chess, but I think honestly, I think that's a stupid way of looking at it. I mean, there is no rule, and like the two sides are not equal, and like you don't have like power for power and look for look. Like war is actually like I don't know, like it's like a net, and like you have all these players and instruments, and like everything needs to harmonize with each other. And if, like only like if one violinist, she goes off like on one wrong note, and the conductor has to redirect the whole orchestra, and like midway at some point she kind of lost the point about like she's
Nice.
talking about a war
Nice.
because she's like trying to explain this complex, high-level metaphysical stuff with a musical orchestral analogy, and like it's just become very, very confusing.
Yeah, I feel like that's like Kemi gets kind of lost in this confusion. Doesn't say anything. Like I feel like the scene kind of plays out with like Kemi just more and more just like kind of getting in over their head of like this is a lot of information, and it feels like you're speaking like some like foreign language that by all means they have not even delved into. They don't even know the basics of this.
So let me ask you, Akemi, do you think generally that you appreciated going along on this?
Oh no, Akemi absolutely appreciated
Okay.
it going along, even if they didn't quite understand what's going on.
And 37, what do you want to roll for this, for the connection here? Does it feel more like express or confess or something?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with express for now. It's one dice anyway, so I got
Yeah.
2 dice, right? Yeah.
2 dice, yep.
I got a 4, so
Okay.
let's 4 to 5. It's 3 links.
So Kemi will record that they have 3 links with you. I think we kind of pull away from the scene. We see the street fairs. I imagine it in the background, classic anime style. We do see Charlie like peering out from behind a light pole, watching the two of you there.
Yeah. So I think at the end there was just like a moment where I lean in and like closer, and like I say to Akemi, Oh, anyway, I just think it's important for you to have, for everyone to have a hobby beside, their job. And like, I think the important part is that, like, the camera cut to like Charlie's point of view, and like from the distance and angle, it's very easy to misconstitute it as a kiss, or like something more intimate, like as
Absolutely.
if like I'm whispering in Akemi's ear or something. But like because from Charlie's vantage point, she cannot accurately judge the physical distance between us.
Nice. Nice. Akemi, what would you like for your second downtime?
Might be a surprise here with how I've built myself. I'm gonna make a connection with Sarah.
Okay. Where do you want to track down Sarah at? In the same costume place, up in the rafters, somewhere outside of the thing?
Honestly, in this one here, I was kind of thinking, with all of the things that are going on, is there a particular like place that Sarah has kind of gone about their day after like their obligation and all this stuff that they've done?
Good question. I think there's that thing of having been out in that small room, the support thing, just from experience that being in those closed spaces is very hard on Senna. So there is probably a sort of they're up in the rafters and they're still working. They've like brought all the paperwork that has to be done, and they're sort of up there trying to keep it from blowing away and getting through all of the drudgery work is essentially it, of filling out all the requisition forms that will be ignored, and all of the so only 1 in 10 will be fulfilled, but you have to do all 10 of them in order to get one thing. So
So yeah, I think Akemi, yeah, like after their time out with 37, kind of just comes on in, and they're like, okay, before I can get back to my work kind of thing, I need to just kind of like almost get in the atmosphere of working again. So they're kind of like just walking around the area, and they kind of see you kind of in your mode, and they um
did
them
it drop a pencil on you by accident from above?
actually that's probably how I find you originally. And I think like as I come to up to where you're at and like and everything, Akemi is one that is very quiet in both how they walk and the kind of like, and also like how they talk in general. So it's just that thing of like just out of nowhere, just from like kind of to like behind you to the side a bit, it's just been like, you dropped this. Just like holding out your pencil, that, and
I'm-
just like just like that kind of like look of like rubbing the top of their head where it was probably like they probably got hit.
I like that. I think that there is a startle, because neither Senna nor Sarah heard you. So I think there's like a startle, a bunch of papers fly out, essentially, and then, but those are easy. They get scooped right back in. So you see that sort of weird thing of they go out and it's just Sarah clearly pulls them back in. It's a big swirl, and they kind of come back, and Sarah herself, or Senna, yeah, Sarah's pulling them back out of the whirl and into the pile. She has her hand on it, and she's like, "Thank you. I was down to just one." She goes, "There's another 3 down there on the floor somewhere."
And they kind of just out of like just the habit of like oh, you say they're down there, and just kind of looks down.
Oh no, and then you just start to tip, she catches you.
Just like and then like
No.
it's like and they're like, and their thing is like, if you keep on dropping them, why are you up here?
I spent all morning in the supply room, so just needed some space. That's all. Oh, she goes, "Do you need me to requisition something? I have
Oh
all the
no.
forms out." You sure?
No, I don't think I have the permissions for any kind of thing like that. I'm pretty sure all my requests will be denied.
But I don't have to put your name on it.
Isn't that technically illegal?
Not at all. It's for the group.
The greater good. They're like, well, then I'm gonna have to actually think on that a bit because I didn't even think that it wasn't even an option.
Oh, here,
Um,
sit down and think on it. And she goes, look what I found. And she will pull out what is clearly an ancient pack of cough drops, but like cherry flavored ones. So it's practically like candy. So
Oh my goodness. And the after kind of as they're like kind of sitting and thinking a bit, they're like the nagging question that's in the back of Akemi's mind always of like when it comes to various colleagues and such, they are like, so out of curiosity, how does this mask thingy here work?
this mask thingy is just worn so people know that I'm Registry of Masks. It doesn't have anything to do with it.
So that's not how you get your magic?
No, I get my magic from a mask. But Senna's mask is gone because she's in me. So think of it as
Did you eat the mask?
she goes, no, it's a hard thing to describe. Right now, I'm wearing the mask, but the mask is me and Senna.
And you could just see
and then-
Akemi is
And
trying
then
to
she
do
sort
like
of
the
stops
complex.
and she goes, if I die, mm, this face will be the new mask.
There, you could definitely see Akemi is trying to do the complex math here of
Mm-hmm.
like, how does that work? That does not fall into any realm of like things that they've worked with before, and they're like, and then they kind of are after a moment are just like, so
Every time you see a mask on a Registry of Masks person, they're wearing a mask that's indicating that they have a mask. Because
and how does one get a mask? Like, let's say like one wants to actually have magical abilities and doesn't have them. Do
well,
you just pick up any old mask, or is it like do these masks have like some intricate like kind of circuits that you just put on and kind of like gets into your brain or something? How's that work?
to think about it, she goes, trying to think. One, the masks that work like this that I know of are all in the possession of the registry. They have collected them all. They keep the lore and the story. So if I change the mask of Senna in some way, that will be annotated, probably not charitably. But it will happen. She kind of stops and she goes, but in order to do it, you have to be from my mountain, from the far-flung peaks. We are the ones that know the spirits, that have spoken to them all of our life, that they can push through when we wear their mask.
That's interesting. I'll have to do some research on that and try and understand that some more. I have no idea the complexities of this, though it is interesting. I have to say, here I am kind of shunned around because I don't have magic yet. Here you have magic, and you're not in much of a better position, it doesn't sound like.
And she sort of stops and says, I don't think it would have been against the rules at one time for me and Senna to be like this, but it is now.
So, what, did they just not like you in particular, or did you
I
break
have-
a rule that was there that they changed?
I broke a rule that was there that I had never heard of. But
How's that a fair rule?
nothing is fair.
Uh,
I mean, that's the first rule of learning magic, is that there are a lot of hidden truths that are gotchas. That is why you have to study and apprentice yourself. It is how things work.
Nice.
and I think the way this kind of scene kind of ends is Akemi kind of just stands up, kind of like places a kind of a hand kind of like fervently on like your desk and everything, and just that and kind of like a kind of a annoyed kind of declaration as they kind of leave. It's like that thing of like, well, frankly, I'm going to find a way to fix things in the system so that one, you can just be yourself and not have this judgment, but also I'm tired of all of these unexplained rules that happen to anybody both on the magic and non-magic side, and just very angrily kind of walking away because yeah, that doesn't seem like a very fair trade of things.
Nice.
Okay, and I think when she starts to walk across the catwalk like that, you see Sarah watch her and then do this, and there's kind of like a line goes out of just like barely you can see like a line of air, just so that it's like colder to either side in case she starts to tip so correct, it's that kind of.
Nice. So it does feel like you appreciate that. I think there's an
Mhm.
interaction there. So that's a die for that. Akemi, what are you thinking here for the action die? You want to roll with that?
I'm between honestly kind of either a confess / empathize, because I was that kind of thing of like one trying to understand Sarah Senna, but also I did do the confessing of like kind of how I feel about generally a lot of things. So I'm thinking the overall vibe though is probably on the confess
Yeah, I
side
think
of
that makes
things.
sense. So 3 dice then.
Oh, that is bad.
Wow.
My dices are the worst too, so
Oh my goodness. Triple one. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that is just 2 links.
Yeah.
okay.
You went from a crit to that's
Critical
wild.
failure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank goodness there is no such thing as critical failure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh
That's the thing, is you've gotten a bunch of ones out of your way.
yes.
So, right? Statistically.
Sarah Senna, what do you want to do for your second downtime?
Because it is the gift of Akemi links gives you so many opportunities. So let's see here. We don't even know what's coming up in the way of what our next assignment is, do we?
Right. That's why the sort of the supplies and thing is kind of the general building up.
Okay. All right. How about if what I do is I will certainly be able to finish off this tier of supply and support. If
Okay.
I do that, then that leaves other folks with one more turn. Someone else has another turn to get more links to protect us from the world.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we've got that. We've also got the authority to finish out.
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what's the authority?
Oh, we've got 1 tick on the adding a new person
Ooh,
to your allies thing under community. Ooh, and look how badly I misspelled community on the keeper. Wow.
well done, sir. Well done. So wait. So what do I do to do that?
That's a long-term project. Basically, you go and you could do it there on the instructor or one of the other ones. Essentially, has to be one of the ones on the top row there. But that adds a character that takes on that role that gives you that bonus.
And we only need 1 more tick?
Need 3 more ticks on the authority.
That would mean a good roll.
That would mean a 4 or better, yes. Or even a fail would get you to the next tier on support and supplies.
All right, I don't want to be the most boring person, even though I am. So I'll try the community thing.
Okay.
All right.
What do you think you do? Like, there's some conversation about trying to get in a trainer, an instructor here to help you all out. What do you think is the role that you'd use to go and do that?
Oh, you know, let's see here. How about, we know that no one's going to listen to us, but they are renting this facility from Charlie. So I think that what I'm going to do is see if I can get Charlie to help.
Okay.
I do know Charlie's secret.
Oh, so you're gonna
But
play a little with empathize there. Is that I'm hearing?
I think what I'm gonna do is say is one of the things is that I already like will sit on the stage and sing and everything like that. So I think that I will go to Charlie and go, this seems like a day for love songs. Is there anyone you want me to sing?
I imagine Charlie sputters at that. Still, in her mind's eye, we see the flashback to a Kemi and 37 at the fair.
Mhm.
I think she looks off in the distance and says, I don't want to hear a love song.
Yes, I don't know. She kind of goes, it's always very good for, say, setting the scene for what you want to have happen, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that. Let's have you roll empathize there.
Okay.
I think that she will kind of go back and forth, but maybe now kind of trying to listen for your advice.
I would love to roll this, but I can't because the cat has come and sat on my mouse
Okay.
and she is in a mood. So I would like to preserve my blood supply.
Okay.
If someone would roll for me, that would be much
Someone roll a
appreciated.
D6.
Yes. Anyone will roll better than me.
No one going to step forward.
Not with my ones. I don't think
All
it's
right.
worth it.
All
I
right.
don't-
Well, the GM will roll in a punishing
GM,
roll.
I'm sorry.
I rolled a
really would.
4.
Oh, thank you. That is a fabulous roll. The best one so far today. So
Okay. So what that does is that completes the instructor.
awesome.
I will need you to, not necessarily today, but you will need to give them a name
Okay.
and find a picture for them. And essentially, you can then spend a downtime action to get an XP for moon and an XP for stars.
Ooh, okay.
So we'll let you figure that out. Alina, what would you like to do for your second downtime action?
Let's see. I think I'm gonna make a connection, and I know that due to my ability, I do not have a connection in a way I go to someone, but in that I basically leave them an anonymous gift.
Okay.
So
So who are you giving it to and what are you giving them?
I think Elena's going to like leave a gift for 37, because 37 is like, imagine this is happening concurrently as 37 and Akemi like out, just like shoving it down like music or trivia down Akemi's throat. And as for that, I don't think I have like a specific like item, but like I wanted this to be like an item that like Elena thinks it's like it would like it would be like something that 37 would like, but it's something that 37 would absolutely not enjoy receiving. Now,
Yeah.
would that be like just like help like workshop with this word thing? What would be like an item that is like an the yeah, that'd be like an item that like doesn't appear to be like anything like bad on the outlook, but it's something that 37 would not like to receive.
So it's kind of, you want to make a fox pass like you give me something you think I would like, but actually I don't.
Like maybe, like I'm thinking, like maybe, like it's an item that like closely resembles something that led to like one of the like bad endings in your previous like life. Like maybe it was something that in one of your life, it's like you had it. It was like nothing bad, but it was like that item that ultimately led to like one of like the bad endings, which we didn't have to reset. And I think like Alina like gets like that item.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
leaves it
yeah.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's like it's a doll, right? Like it's the original actual Annabelle doll from the like ghost story, like not the obviously possessed terrifying one from the movie. Like the original doll is this like cute kind of goofy, like obviously a cartoon, like SpongeBob level, like cartoonized like a doll of a woman, like like, so it's like a cute goofy little doll, and like that doll is like it's completely harmless, but I know like every time that thing shows up, like it's bad omen, right? Like it never leads to anything good.
Yeah, like I think Alina is just going to like Alina's, I think is maybe going to be like just like damaging through like the backstage, like perhaps just like looking if she can like find anything that might be useful for like her own like little like projects, and like she passes this door and she's like this it's kind of cute, but it's kind of weird. It reminds me of 47 for some reason.
I love it. What do you want to roll that with? Is that empathize? Is that conceal to hide it? Is it analyze? Like what do you think? What do you think you want to lean into here?
I think it would be empathize, just because like Alina is like trying to like bridge the gap
Okay.
between like herself 47, and she is like thinking that okay, this dude it's kind of cute, but it's pretty weird looking. It's like has like a quirky vibe to it, and like that
Okay.
reminds her of what essentially just like trying to like empathize, like trying to like be like, hey, this reminds me of you. Basically, I don't think Alina will like leave like any. Actually, no. I think Alina will just was like write like a little like a card with the door, just saying, "Hey, doesn't this kind of look like you?" And I think maybe like a lot of people, it would be like they look nothing alike.
So you leave this anonymous gift. You get to roll 2 dice for that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if luck's on my side. I got a 5 and a 2.
Okay. So 37, you can record 3 links with Alina.
Yeah.
Alina, do you watch 37 receive this gift, or is that too much?
I think. Oh, now that is a question.
Yeah, actually, I think if you leave it at my so-called living space, like you would probably know my reaction anyway, because like it's a balcony.
I like on one hand I kind of do like want to ask like the question, but on the other I think like in the actual like role play, I think Elena like wouldn't like stick around to like see,
Okay.
at least at the moment. I think she like just gonna leave it and then just like go, because she doesn't. It isn't like the case where Christian like is just like out in the other part of theater. Like she like knows that Christian can like really vent out. She doesn't know when she'll come back. She's like, okay, hope she'll like it when she comes back, and she'll just like go
So
out.
So 37, Alina isn't watching, but what do we see on screen when you open this gift? And of course, you've been through these lives this many times, so you know it's from Alina. I think. So what is your reaction when you see this thing?
Yeah, I think even though I know it's from Alina, I think like I have a really disproportionate response. I think I grab the door and I'm talking to it like it's a person like, you again. Oh, why does everything goes wrong so fast this time? And like I because I think I have tried throwing it away and burn it and otherwise destroy it. And like I know it doesn't help. So like and like I don't want to hurt Alina's feeling, but like I think I put, somewhere around my cot, like my bed. But like I put like, these like pins and needles like, on its hand and feet and put it on like the equivalent of a cross. I'm basically crucifying it. And like I don't like this is a magic. Like I don't expect this to have any effect, but I'm just so annoyed at it. I have to do something.
Perfect. 37, what do you want to do for your second downtime action?
Yeah, I think I want to feel the what's it, resource
Sure.
and sub. Yeah, so I think I'm going to try to, and I think like because I think I may not know the specific because like I think the order of events keep changing. So like I don't know like specifically who would come first and what would come up. But like I think I have a general idea about, like the possible range of events that may occur. So I think I'm going to work off that, like, to find whatever we need for
Yeah.
the most likely missions to come up next.
What do you want to roll that with? Does that feel like analyze? Does it feel like defy? Does it feel like something else? Perceive?
Let me see. I don't. Yeah, I think it's probably analyze
Okay.
because I'm going over past events and try to like ascertain what's most likely to come up next and also what we would need to deal with it.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Let me see. Oh, I forgot the dice roller.
I sympathize. I always accidentally close it.
Yeah. I got a 6, so that's 14.
Yeah, you can. So we'll put that'll close off tier 1, and we'll put 3 ticks on the next tier. Excellent. Akemi, you have one more downtime action.
Yeah, I think my last downtime I will do. So we already. Let me see here. Let me just double check here. So we got that, and we're there. Chances are we're only gonna, for our first downtime, we're probably gonna be doing a tier 1 knowing us. So where we're at is not bad at the moment. So I think I'll just do a final make a connection here with 37 here.
Okay.
And I feel like this is a pretty straightforward one for with how Akemi is going to be doing things here. Where 37 has shown them this beautiful thing with music and such, and Akemi, being Akemi, is like, I'm going to now try and show you the beauty of relics. May not be what 37 wants, but it's here we are. This is the Akemi's kind of way of reaching out.
I like that. Do you think you have a book of these things, like sketches, or do you have some extra ones laying around? What do you think that demo is?
I feel like it's a lot of my things tend to be in schematics and until they're the completed product. So, and so it's like I have like probably like several rolls of different schematics.
Nice. 37, is this something you appreciate?
Yeah, I'm going to say no because like I think we have a string of events that's like making me doubt the future of this timeline and like because like we have established what went wrong with Akemi in the past is like her obsession with this artifact and meddling too much with them. So I feel like this is like her, getting too close to repeating that mistake.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
Kemi,
just
what do you
that.
want to roll?
Yeah, I would say this is on this thing. It's kind of a defy because I do realize that 37 is not into this, and I'm actively trying to make sure that 37 realizes the beauty of these things and what they can actually do. So
Nice.
that is 1 die.
2 dice with your bonus, right?
Oh, right, my bonus. Right, forgot about that part. 5.
So 37, you may record a respectable 3 links with Akemi. All right. So we are going to go through the end of session stuff now, which is XP. And then we'll start next session essentially with the mission briefing, the engagement role, and putting you out in the field for a tier 1 mission. It'll probably be a rescue mission. Essentially, we'll kind of, depending on where the role is, we'll start you at, out at night. We'll get a sense of what these bombings look like, what the attacks look like, and the neighborhood that's happening in. So let's start with, let's walk through our time travelers XP questions. And challenge just, doesn't necessarily mean a role. It can be anything that you feel was kind of a test of who you are. Did you address a challenge with foresight or revelation?
Yeah, I think so because I explicitly try to look for resources that will help us in the future.
Yeah, perfect. Did you express your beliefs, drives, role, or background?
Yeah, I told Akemi about like all these like metaphysical stuff that like I'm trying to work out.
Okay. Did you struggle with issues from your promises or obligation?
Yeah, I both try to get Akemi to be less obsessed with artifact, and I also like I got another unwanted, friendly gesture from Alina.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you 2 for that. So we've got 4 so far. And then did you embody your eclipse or display the contents of your heart?
Eclipse, you have known all along that changing fate was impossible. So much ways of said. Yeah, I don't think so right
Okay.
now.
Yeah, not quite yet, but I think there's there. So now you can take those 4 points and you can put those anywhere. You can put those on the playbook. You can put them on stats. You can divide them up. It's entirely up to you. Kemi, look at our unlikely hero.
Yep. So I definitely did address things with some kind of honesty, as I was being very honest with everybody about my things of like struggling with magic with Sarah and my opinions of like the system. My things with Alina where I'm being quite honest of like things like how it's how I feel about like things like how this the corp is with like breathing down the neck and all that stuff. So a
Yeah,
lot of things.
I think that's 2 points on that one, definitely.
Beliefs, drives, and role and background. I in my entire thing with Sarah, I was definitely expressing my background and my beliefs. I with 37, I am absolutely showing my beliefs.
Yeah. Let's say 2 for
Yep.
that again. Did you struggle with issues from your promises or
Yep.
obligation?
And with that, my obligation was absolutely stressful for me because my character does not deal well with authority figures of any kind. Much less having someone tell them, "Hey, get this done in a certain way," and a certain time frame. So it was a little. There was definitely that there, and then When it came to promises, I mean, yes, one, I'm actively trying to get 37 to appreciate things
Yeah.
here, and I actually was trying to get to know more about Sarah's kind of thing, because one, I'm wanting to kind of further our goals here, and yeah.
That seemed good. Let's say 2 on that. Did you embody your eclipse or display the contents of your heart?
Not anything on my eclipse at the current moment, but when it came to the contents of my heart, yes, when kind of revealing kind of things to Sarah, of like kind of that thing of like, oh, how I'm kind of and I like how I was treated with my lack of magic.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think I got another point for that. And Saracena,
Yes.
you express a challenge with understanding or coordination.
I think that my move with Charlie was awesome to get the instructor, the essentially both understanding what she wanted and recognizing that she was the one that could do that. My other stuff, I'm not entirely sure.
I think also you went and coordinated to get the resources. I think that's
I
fair.
mean,
So let's say
okay, that's
2.
fine.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, role, or background?
Let's see, curious student, spooky veteran. Let's see here. And background.
I think you
okay,
literally
You did a
expressed your
lot.
background.
You
Yeah.
gave me so
Yeah.
much in my
Exactly.
connection with you.
Yeah, I was like, I was just running through them going, okay, yeah, yes, so I definitely did that.
Okay, so another point
so-
on that.
Yeah, I never do things with the thoughts to these things. I have to remember that.
Yeah.
That I need a little checklist so I can go do. Okay. Let's see here. Struggled with issues for my promises or obligations. I will say that tag right there at the beginning and me having to like be really nice to her, even though she was doing a really terrible thing. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's give you
Yeah.
another point for that.
Okay.
Did you embody your eclipse or display the
No.
contents of your heart?
I think anytime that I talk about Senna and myself, I think that I am in the
Okay.
sense of that it's like that I am talking about the two of us together.
Yeah.
Is
So that's another point.
okay.
That's 5. Alina, did you address a challenge with knowledge or subtlety?
I think like perhaps like my like supply task where Lynn like worked on like the improvement. I think that would count.
Absolutely.
Let's see, express the beliefs, drive a dollar background, where the express your beliefs. I don't think I really did, to be honest.
I think there's a little bit of that naivete, being the naive
Perhaps.
newcomer in choosing that particular doll. I think you certainly leaned into that. I think there's a point to be had for that.
Yeah, okay. You struggled with issues from your promise obligations. I think perhaps from like my I think like there was some struggle maybe with the like obligation, because like engineering training fixing up that improving that like radio jam at the beginning, which really kind of established that we needed to like kind of take a break to like get her thoughts to a counterpart. I think that might be like an issue with an obligation. And you bodied your eclipse, so display the ones you had.
Yeah, I actually think 2, because you also tried to bridge that gap with 37. So I think that's another point for that. Did you embody your eclipse or display the contents of your heart?
Didn't embody the eclipse, display the contents. I think I did display like the contents, because like Elena's like whole like big deal in the eclipse is like find a place to belong. That means finding people who she can like like family, and that does mean like bridging the gap. And I think talking like with a camera at the start about like, hey, you need to take a break like sometimes, and the attempt at giving something nice to 47
Okay.
would
Yeah,
be
I think that's fair. So 5 points.
Reference.
I'm going to cut to the series thing. We haven't yet cleared out a mission. I do think that the group did struggle with their place in the city, given the authority figures thing. I'm going to give you a point for that. Deal with tensions between the factions. Not really yet. Express the essential nature, origin, or destiny of the group. I think I'm going to put a point for that just because of the pressures from the authority figure on you. At this point, we'll certainly see more of this as we go rolling along. I know we're kind of a little bit over time, but I would like to do a quick stars and wishes if that's okay with folks. Just to especially to get wishes, things that you definitely want to see for your character, kind of thing. Verton, is it okay to start with you?
Yeah, sure. So stars, I do like like all the role play we get to do today. But I think I especially like how quickly like Charlie is becoming this, like suddenly she's becoming like this prominent NPC that's involved in the most cliche anime love triangle. Like I think that's pretty cute and that's pretty cool and like it's not all my contribution and I like that. And I think I really like Sarah Sena's this like explanation question mark of the mask magic, because like it's a lot of metaphysical like bubble, like, oh, there's a mask but there's not a mask, it's not a mask. And like it starts for Alina for really leaning into this like incompatible relationship of trying to like getting close to 37 only to upset her even further. And like starts for and like the same for Akemi, right? Like except like Akemi doesn't even know what she's doing and like just leaning into that, like annoying the person who knows how bad this is going to be. Yeah, I like that. And for Wish, I don't have. Let me see. Yeah, because like I feel like she's like 37 is more like it's early, so she's more guarded and like I think what I would like to have a chance for people like for her to for kind of the act to sleep and like for her to express some of that despair and like anxiety she has, like hiding behind that old stepford smiling act. I think that would be interesting. And like generally I just want to be, because like in the downtime you don't have so much time, but like I want to have a chance to like kind of using this kind of like foreknowledge and like make ominous, like if you don't do this something terrible will happen. I can guarantee it, like like because I don't think she would do that a lot with friends and people she's close to, because like that with people you spend a lot of time with, I think that tend to have the opposite effect. Just see Madoka for reference, but like I think when dealing with like authority and other people, like I think that's a tendency she would fall into, like just do what I say. Yeah,
excellent.
I think
that's it. Dom.
Yeah, okay. My stats for like the roleplay all around. I really enjoy like seeing the like this like a slightly kind of toxic positivity from 47 about it's not really about it that kind of crept up a bit in session, but also like just the whole hey, I'm going to just ignore your question and just go on this like random tangent that's going to end in who knows what. To talk a bit what instead, you feel like Akemi is like just going down and just like asking people basically just asking people, creating engagement to know them, see how she fits in as well. Enjoyed Sarah's explanation about the mask, because as always, you can't really have an anime without like a convoluted magic system. And like I was like I started to you level for the, setting all of this up and going along with what we've given so far. As for my wishes, I think I only like have 2 wishes at the moment.
Sure.
I've kind of like got like this, and you did pick up on this at when I did explain the whole like magic of Elena like basically like being like engineered to like try and like help people like be like that magic and technology isn't just like for a word, but her magic that she like got is inherently destructive, is like most useful like for the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see like that play up a bit as the series progresses, and that whole like will she use it, will she not use this power, like will she come to terms with what she has, or will she like completely like she reject it till the end. And also this is less about like the whole series, but more about with like 37's character, because we take started at 37 like didn't like fight in the war originally, and I kind of like use like the time tower to go back because they are kind of experience the war from what I remember from that session. And Alina like last family in the war, I think it will be like a good like potential like conflict, like not anytime soon, but maybe conflict like later down this year, like maybe like near the finale, where maybe like we done a 37th time travel, because I think that would maybe like be an interesting conflict of here's 37, someone who basically went through the entire war pretty much unscathed, and then chose to come back into the war while working simultaneously along someone who basically lost everything in the same world.
Interesting. A couple of different tensions there between the magic, between the status of your character versus 37. Okay, yeah, I dig that. Saracena?
Of course, I just want to say about the 37 conflict, this is if Vertin is okay with it.
Yeah, sure. I think like I definitely want to get to that point. I think we will see how things work out.
Yeah, see how it all like plays out in actual play.
Yeah. Saracena?
I love that everyone went along with the theater thing. I think it's a lot of fun. I love that Charlie was there to start with. That was such a great move right away, Verton, because it makes it so easy to bring them in. And I think that does that. And this is kind of a wish. I'm going to put it on right now that goes, it is a great way to bring people into the stories. So I kind of have a thing that for all of the angst and all of the terrible things that are going to happen, there could be a very nice thing of a sort of gathering people together and almost a culmination to a let's put on a show sort of thing, if that makes any sense. That kind of like we're gonna pull something at the very end. And I'm not saying on the stage, I'm saying that we kind of get that thing of getting a group of people that are working together and, you know, sort of for a big surprise, if that makes any sense. I just like that because it was so easy to bring Charlie in and make them huge. And it's a great character, and it working well with the rest of the characters super well. Kemi, you were so good everywhere. It was like we got to learn a bunch about you, but I want to know more. And I just that your character role is one that is always sort of super key in the downtime where we see a lot of you. And the thing I love is you did not repeat yourself once. You like every scene was another layer of a Kemi. So I know by the end of this, you will be so incredibly fleshed out. I'm looking forward to that. It was just really good fun to do. I really dug that. And Dom, Lena is, how should we say, the good intentions are just sort of are so magnificently clear and tremulous in your play. I just love watching it go and like hoping that it won't be a heartbreak, you know. Those things. It's just a really good way that you've got the sort of very careful and feeling like it's a risk situation every time you do something social. It's just really lovely. So really enjoyed that. I like what we're building. We have this game always at the start has a little bit of the double mumbo jumbo thing where you're trying to decide a few things before you feel like you're ready to. But we've done a great job of incorporating what we have decided on, and we've given ourselves some good room for the things that are still to be ironed out. So very pleased with how we're doing as a group, and Lowell with your approach to how we're going. And also, I'm proud of myself because I actually found a picture for our instructor. I gave you the basics, so I put those on the sheet. Hopefully that's acceptable if you'd rather have them be something else, but I came up with a logistical diviner.
Okay.
So there you go.
Absolutely. Our first obvious non-human.
Yes.
So I like that. And Akemi.
Stars too. Just first of all, loved the extra lore and information that kind of came from Sarah and learning more about this unique circumstance, and like finding out, oh, this mask here is not the same thing, and that is more symbolic, which was fascinating to find out. And then the added tidbit, I'm still kind of like, oh, I die, and now here's this face here is now the new mask here, which was like, okay, loving what's going on here. Love that little bit of lore drop. That was kind of fun. Love everything with Alina, and just kind of enjoyed the unique way that Alina kind of tackles things and all in there and all. Especially enjoyed how Alina and Akemi seem to have are able to seem to have the thing of like both of them are awkward enough that it seems like it's two awkward people talking to each other. So I enjoyed that kind of interaction. It was kind of silly in my opinion. I enjoyed it. Absolutely loved 37's kind of constant thing of like that thing of like, okay, trying to do things here, and PTSD, a future kind of thing comes up, and it's like whoa, no, I want to actually fix that right now, correcting that right now, or like I do not like what that means. Like, just love that kind of moment there. And then wishes, honestly, just seeing more of these characters flesh out as a group and all.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I really super enjoyed that. I enjoyed what you put on the table. I appreciate you letting me go over. I felt good. I like when we have the downtime actions, we have time to and room to let those breathe. So I felt quite good about that. I am going to stop the recording.